if you want to tell a great story, there are very specific formulas for storytelling that you should adhere to because you're not smarter than them. Like, people have been studying what works in storytelling for a really long time, and there are very specific formulas that do work and don't. So I think, first of all, figure out what you want to say, and then assess the story that you're creating really specifically, tactically, and I think just intentionally, right? And then I think that the other just big thing that I talk to a lot of software copywriters about is making their stats, their whatever, more relatable to the things that people know, right? So like, if you're gonna talk about someone's return, like one of the things that we changed in some of our own content was this idea that, we would say like, you could save $860,000 in marketing tech spend. And I think that the more effective way to even talk about revenue or numbers like that are headcount, right? Like, with the money that you could save through technology spend, you could hire 4 people to be doing these sorts of actions. Like, that's just immediately like, oh shit, like when you put it like that, like human beings on my team feel like something. $864,000, I mean, I guess that's good. Right? But like, you'd be surprised how much more effective it is when you kind of do the work of contextualizing for people what this number looks like. I also think we get really kind of up our own ass about our terminology and our acronyms, and like, it's painful to try to learn about stuff these days. Like, it really is. I tried to do research on CDPs and I was like, I don't even understand what half of these words are. And like, I'm in the space. Like, God bless anybody who is like 24 and trying to figure this out. And I also think, just from a storytelling perspective, the amount of times that I've gotten a blog that's been written and I'm like, who's the reader of this? Because like, I can't figure out who would read this. Like, it's a combination of like incredibly high level and then like super tactical all at the same time. So like, you kind of just have to think about a human being as a human being, and then that is your reader. And just like marketers work with sellers, like, you have to understand what your buyer's perspective is and then meet them where they're at. One of the biggest kind of, I don't know if linchpin is the right word, but one of the biggest pivots is like, there's those of us that have the inside sales or account development rep, BDR, SDR, whatever, like whatever your term is for that. There's those of us that have that reporting to us. And that is like almost always a big decider of like what we end up prioritizing. So CMOs that don't have inside sales reporting to them do a lot of different things. So I think that's the biggest thing, first of all, to acknowledge is like, because inside sales reports to me, my metrics are all related primarily to their metrics. So of course I own top of funnel. So I own content, I own all online advertising, I own social, I own all of the ways that people find out about us. I really fundamentally own LeadMD's brand in the marketplace and making sure that more people see it. And the reason that, and I think that sometimes marketers, especially executives, we've kind of been trained in B2B to do attribution, right? Like, if you're not worried about revenue, you're not doing your job right. But like, I think that it's kind of moved to a place where almost people are too focused on that. And they're looking to identify every single little influential touch point. And I personally am less concerned with that. We did research last year on marketing and sales alignment. And one of the things that was a big takeaway for me is the amount that sales values marketing's influence on brand. And it's a very selfish thing that sellers care about this. So essentially, they just don't want to go into a room and have people go, wait, who are you? Like, they don't want to be embarrassed, essentially. And so our job as a marketing team is to make sure that, like, when my AE goes into a room, that those people know who LeadMD is. They might not know every single thing that we do, all of the ways that we consult. obviously like our pricing, nothing crazy, but at least we need to have a top of mind awareness in that room to where they don't have to be embarrassed that they're presenting this deck and they have some CRO, CMO that's like, who are you guys? What do you do? Ugh. Right? Like go in behind the 8 ball. They don't want to do that. So brand is a big function of my role and pretty hard to measure. So the really easy thing to measure is the number of impactful meetings that my ADRs are setting. So we use the term account development rep, and they are the front line. They are the main driver of our prospecting efforts. We pair them up with an AE, an account executive, and they work on a target list together, very like ABM focused. And then they help me with a lot of what kind of is called like air cover, right? But so basically like my main metric is driving meetings. So I see the brand work that I do as a function of them being able to more successfully drive meetings too. And even frankly, like we don't do marketing qualified leads. We do really like how many, and basically the ADR does a fit call and then the AE does what we call a qualification call. And so how many successful qualification calls were had this week, that is my metric.